Hello and welcome to our sofa chat with my lovely, beautiful friend, Fiona Porter. Fiona and I met it was this time last year, Fiona, wasn't it?
It was,
At
yeah.
a health and healing festival. And we were sort of newbies and we were pushed to the back. But it was really, really nice, wasn't it? Um, and uh, and since then, Fiona's been my Reiki practitioner and has helped me immensely. But that's another story. So it's really interesting when you meet people who are, I don't know, so similar to you that you just wonder
Hmm.
if you're the same person in a different body. Because
Yeah.
like myself, Fiona's been a mental health nurse for many, many years.
Hmm.
She's a healer and does distance healing, and you use Reiki, don't you, my love?
Hmm.
And you're a
I do.
wellbeing consultant and
Yes.
holistic life coach. So really, although we use slightly different titles, we do exactly
Hmm.
the same thing,
Yeah, we do. We
which is
do.
lovely. So Fiona, welcome to the sofa.
Thank you very much for having me.
I don't have a white rabbit with me to help us down this rabbit hole, but I think we can probably make it.
We can go on our own. We can go on our own journey. I'm up for that, Susie, if you are.
I am absolutely. So over to you, Fiona. Tell me a little bit about yourself. More than
So yeah, I will start off by saying, like, I was a mental health nurse for over 22 years. And within that time, obviously, very, very passionate about well-being, mental health, all the way up there. And my journey, I guess, probably changed about 18 months ago, where I decided to have 3 months out of nursing. And because I just realized there's lots of nudges from the universe and I needed a bit of time out. So I bravely thought I'm going to take 3 months out of nursing. And little did I know that I was never going to go back, but I didn't know that at the time. And with those 3 months, because I'd always worked since the age of 12, so it was very, very indulgent. But I thought I'm going to use those 3 glorious months, Susie, just to start exploring what my next chapter is, because there's been lots of nudges in a different direction. And within that, when I left nursing, well, I had those 3 months out. I didn't realize that actually I was really burnt out. I had every symptom going. But I guess when you're in the environment, and I used to call it the hamster wheel of doom, you just keep going, keep going, keep going. So when those 3 months actually turned into 6 months. But in that time, I invested in a holistic life coach myself. And that's what's inspired me to, I guess, do that with what I'm just about to launch now. And I just topped up on all the good stuff. Like, I really had to look at my own well-being and, look at resilience on all the different levels, on the physical level, the emotional level, and spiritual level, because I was absolutely flat out burnt out. So within that time, I went to spiritual boot camp. I went to Angel Summer School. I went on a Buddhist retreat. I looked into kind of reincarnation. I learned a lot about manifestation. I had regression, so I kind of find out about 3 of my different lives, just helping me to put the pieces together and to help with my resilience and learning lots of things. And I had to do a massive overhaul of my well-being,
Mm.
because where I was at, it wasn't good. So, doing meditations, mindfulness, podcasts, reading books, kind of like you name it, just everything to kind of like nourish my soul. And, at first I wanted to go back to how I was. And then I realized that that's not possible, is it? Because we have to look at going forward. So all of that kind of like created that moment where it was either go back to nursing or it was to do something really different. And with a lot of courage, a lot of bravery, I chose not to go back to nursing. And I decided to create my own business, which is called Resilience, Reiki and Wellbeing. So that's where I started. And it was a really, really great opportunity for me to really, I guess, talk to the world about kind of like well-being, because it's obviously so, so important, isn't it, for all of us, in whatever shape or form, that we have to look after our well-being and have to look after our resilience. And I really realized that if you don't look after one of your aspects of resilience, i.e., I don't know, your physical health, it's going to affect your emotional health,
Yeah.
and pretty much likely like your spiritual health. So to me, a holistic approach just really makes sense to me. And I just want to get the word out there that I think, for me and many others out there, this will resonate with some people, it will not resonate with others, but how to really get out there about looking after yourself, because you've got to prioritize yourself, haven't you?
I think so.
That's
And I think,
love.
yeah, I think because we were both went into a nurturing profession,
Hmm.
um, it's very easy to become a control freak and to
Hmm.
actually be controlling others, if you like, and telling them how to live and all of that, which is what we do. And then we clean forget that there's somebody here that is empty
Yeah.
and not taking time to fill ourselves and to heal and to create a space for creativity even.
Hmm.
So, and absolutely, I know I burnt out as well, and I know what
Yeah.
burnout feels like. It's horrid. It's,
It is absolutely awful. And I guess you just don't realize. And
mm,
especially I think when you're in the profession, for me, like with mental health nursing, you're very good at giving. I was very good at giving and, really promoting kind of mental health and well-being. And then when you step back and you realize that you haven't done that for yourself, I was quite ashamed at the beginning,
yes,
because it's like, how could I have got to where I am? And I speak about like the metaphorical mirror.
mm,
And for me, it's about having the courage to hold that mirror up to yourself and have a really good look at yourself,
yeah,
kind of like warts and all, what are you really happy with? What are you not? What do you need to change?
yeah,
And taking that power back, to me, a lot of my messages are about empowerment.
yeah.
Empowerment for yourself. And it has to start within, doesn't it? Yes, you can go to life coaches. Yes, you can go on certain course. You can do all of them. But ultimately, for me, I really believe that it has to come from within. It has to start within, doesn't it?
I think so. We have to take responsibility, and I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts are on boundaries
Hmm.
because we didn't have them.
Yeah.
Did we? I mean, and that's what led to burnout. We had no
Yeah.
boundaries. We weren't putting our needs, our physical, spiritual, emotional, mental needs as a priority. And
No.
we were allowing the NHS or our private
Yeah.
provider to just absolutely floor us. And
It
they thought
did.
it was all right. And
Yeah.
we just complied with it. So I do think there's you have to take responsibility, and you don't go,
Absolutely.
it's your fault, boss, that you're making me work these ridiculous hours. You actually
Yeah.
say, and it's interesting. I'm writing a book at the very moment for the pocketbook series on this subject, and
Okay.
it's called Stop Thinking, Start Learning. And it's
Hmm.
all about this very thing, and that's
Hmm.
actually accessing that wisdom within you so that we can actually become those people that create boundaries and know what is right for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy, what I found, like, to get caught up in what I call victim energy.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that too well, when you like truly believe that people are doing things to you. So, you know, I was stuck in that energy for
Yeah.
far too long, Susie, because, they were doing it to me. Well, actually, I
No.
allowed that. I
Yeah.
didn't take responsibility. I didn't make different choices. And, I'm so grateful that I went through that experience or experiences, because I wouldn't be sitting here where I am now, knowing that I will never, ever compromise my well-being again for anyone or anything. I mean, what a beautiful teaching is that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think
Yeah,
this is it with mirrors, when people show you something that about you that you don't like, you
yeah,
react to them. And if they don't
yeah.
show you that mirror, you don't even know it's there. And it's like our Reiki session last week.
Hmm.
And it was really interesting because I can always feel you. And I know
Mm,
exactly where you are in my body, and you're miles away from my
yeah.
home. So, if anybody is wondering about distant healing, have
Yeah.
a go with Fiona. Just try
It's
it out.
incredible.
It is. And why was I telling you this? Oh dear, I do that all the time. It doesn't get
I
better.
probably put you off. I don't know.
There was a reason for that. I might cut that out. We'll see. And sometimes I just leave all my faux pas in here because at the end of the day, we are human, aren't we? And
Yeah.
we make mistakes. And if we learn to love ourselves through those mistakes and actually
Hmm.
take that responsibility, then we do heal ourselves. We do
Yeah.
find our resilience. And do you want to just explain resilience? Not everybody understands it the way that you and I do, I don't think. So
Yeah. So for me, I think resilience, like, there's a few aspects to kind of like resilience, and I like to think of it like in a physical, like an emotional and spiritual. So like resilience is the way that I guess we deal with things. That's how I like to look at it, our resilience. And, you know, I believe that, for example, if, physically you're unwell, then it affects your, physical resilience, but also it affects your emotional resilience. Like you're
mm,
less likely to make really good decisions, be able to think outside the box, be able to be like really clear about things. So to me, like, it's like just boosting that up, which kind of obviously links to that your well-being on all the different levels of resilience. And we'd like our resilience to be up here all the time, but life throws us curveballs.
absolutely.
We
Yeah.
get curveballs. But I think if your resilience is kind of up here and you're really working on that, when life brings you these curveballs, for me, that your resilience on all the levels doesn't kind of hit rock bottom where mine was. I
Yeah.
almost had to use like my resilience to kind of like to go
Your
kind of
steps
get,
up. Yeah.
yeah, the steps
Yeah.
up. And that's not to say, I had a lot of difficult life events towards the end of last year, and yes, it knocked my resilience, the
Mm.
way that I was thinking, the way that I was feeling, it impacted like my mindset. But ultimately, I think because I got the building blocks, the foundations there, it helped me to build my resilience back up far quicker than when I was burnt out.
Yeah.
So does that touch the size of, is that a good explanation of
Yeah,
resilience?
I think it is absolutely, and I use that tree as my, as my model. If I was to grab it down, it's a glass tree in a piece of wood, and if I
Mm,
took it out, which I don't, it has no roots, it has no foundation because it's a piece of art. But if
hmm.
you look at a tree, and you see these majestic, magnificent trees, and they stand and they can take the wind, they can take the snow, they can take anything, um,
Hmm.
except lightning, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
even with lightning, they can stand up for a lot of it. They often just split, don't they? And the reason for that is because they're rooted.
Hmm.
And for me, and it's exactly what you're saying, but that's the analogy I use, that
Yeah.
when we're rooted in the truth, and whatever that is, and that could be a religious truth, it could be a
Hmm.
cultural truth, it doesn't matter, we're all different. But when we're rooted and we're drawing the energy from earth, from our God, from our spirit, from whatever we call
From
it,
source.
from
Yeah.
source energy, then, we're standing firm, we're rooted,
Hmm.
we're grounded. And it was interesting because I did remember what it was I was going to talk about. And during our session, I got this word that I'd got some grief hidden in me.
Hmm.
And it sort of, for all the years, and we've both done this work, grief work, haven't we, for a lot
Hmm.
of years, it taught me something brand new. And that was that we can hold grief in ourselves.
Hmm.
And illness, as far as I understand it, is when we're out of alignment with health.
Hmm.
And we are born healthy, our body, and I know that some children aren't born fully
Yeah.
functioning, but you know, but majority of people are born healthy and whole, and we just find our illness along the way. And
Yep.
lots of reasons for that. So when you're talking about well-being, even if you've got a diagnostic label of something,
Hmm.
arthritis, cancer, anything, whatever
Yep.
the label is, well-being is the roots, isn't it? It's the roots
It
of the
is.
tree.
It is. It's the resilience,
It's the
I think. It's like
resilience.
really, yeah, the
Yeah,
resilience of being able, if you're grounded and you're planted, it's exactly that, isn't it?
yeah. And mindfulness, breathing, meditation, food. So what, with you being a well-being consultant,
Hmm.
um, how do you go about, I don't know, how do you help people get from where they are on the day they come to see you to where they need to be? What's your process with them?
Well, everybody's different.
Mm.
Everybody comes to me for like really, really different reasons. And, I use a lot of my experience, like of like mental health nursing and therapy and the Reiki and all the other stuff.
Yeah,
But it's about kind of like doing like a really thorough assessment. And that's why I ask people just to be really open and honest with me. Hold up that mirror
yeah,
and let's have a look and like at the whole picture. Don't give me dribs and drabs or little bits, or don't talk about certain things because you're embarrassed or ashamed. Let's have a look at the whole picture.
mm,
Because some people come to me because they like suffer from insomnia
yeah,
and they have no idea and they just think it's a thing that happens. To me, insomnia is usually a symptom of something.
yeah, yeah,
So for me, it'd be like exploring, okay, what's going on around the insomnia? Why are you not sleeping? Is it that you're stressed? Is it that your mood is low? Is it that you're really worried about something? Is it that you've not got the right habits? Are you staying up till midnight scrolling on Facebook? It's I guess like it's exploring all of those
yeah,
things, like picking things apart. Let's have a look like what symptom that you're bringing and let's see what we can do about it. Because I always believe that you can do something about it, Susie.
yeah,
Always.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's impossible because possible's in the middle of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So whatever kind of symptoms people kind of like come to me with, then we just look at the whole picture. It's about like unpicking it, okay, and trying different things about helping people out with the well-being. Because again, I think looking after your well-being is completely unique to you, like you personally. And what works for me, I now have a really good idea what works for me. But that not might not work for you. You might do things kind of slightly different.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of like working with well-being and saying that you're the well-being consultant, just working with people,
Yeah.
getting to know what works for them and knowing that there is always hope, always.
Absolutely. Yeah, really
Yeah.
important stuff there. That's
Yeah.
and how do people get hold of you, Fiona?
So I've got like I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I think you've got my information there. People
I'm
can
going to do.
email me or kind of like call me. It's kind of like whatever. Oh, sorry, something just come up there. Whatever's easiest for people
Yeah.
to do.
Okay. So, and all of that will be in the show notes below as well, which is,
Yeah.
where people can find it.
Yeah.
So holistic life coach.
Hmm.
So holistic meaning whole. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I said like not so long ago, didn't I, that I was very inspired myself when I invested in a holistic life coach. So a big thing for me about the holistic life coaching is you creating space for yourself, you
Mm,
knowing that you are important enough to have that time where you invest in yourself, like time, energy, and financially as well.
mm,
So holistic is looking at like it the whole picture again, looking at specifically what people want to look at. And with the holistic life coaching, my 12-week program is called Anything is Possible,
all
Dare
right.
to Dream.
Mhm.
So that's with like the concept that you can do anything that you set your mind to, absolutely anything. But first, we've got to look at your resilience and well-being before you can take those kind of like extra steps.
Mm,
So it's about, you know, understanding that there's lots of different parts of the well-being. So I have a huge passion of looking at mantras, affirmation, gratitude work, law of attraction stuff, manifestation, looking at some of the basics of for people who like suffer from insomnia, how to kind of like manage stress. So it's like a really broad oh, I'm stuttering on it, but it's a broad sense
yeah.
of being able to look at your well-being and exactly what you want to do. And I've blended like two parts of it together. So I think talking is really, really helpful when you're on your journey.
Mm.
And also there's a lot of healing that will kind of needs to be done. So that's why half the session is talking, and then the other half is distant Reiki. So it's a really nice blend of, let's talk about what it is that we need to be talking about, look at different strategies. But then with Reiki, as we know, it's really, really clever, isn't it? It
Yeah,
works on whatever level that it needs to. So a spiritual level, a physical level, or an emotional level, it does that regardless what you've just spoken about.
and
So I'm super excited.
it sounds like a good course. And when does that start?
Next week, I'll be taking clients.
So because this is going to be aired on the 7th. So from the 8th, you're taking clients.
Yes, I am. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And is
And
it a one-to-one or is it a group?
no, it's one-to-one work with me. It'll be kind of
Right.
like purely with me, just creating that really safe space and, kind of growing and expanding and looking at yourself, kind of where you are, where you want to be. And knowing that, again, like you're empowered, you have choices, you can do whatever your mind sets to. And that's what's so super duper exciting. And one of my biggest mantras is like, love the life you live
Yeah.
the life you love. And I just love that.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Mm.
to hold that space.
Excellent. And just finally, for those who might never have heard of Reiki,
Hmm.
can you just give a small, I don't know, a minute or two on Reiki? I know it's a
Yeah, of
massive
course.
subject.
Yeah. So yeah, it is a massive subject, but something I'm really passionate about. I've been having Reiki for many years, and I've been now qualified 5 years,
Mhm.
and also like a distant healer. But Reiki is energy healing. So it kind of works on the principle like we work with the chakras. So the chakras are just your energy points within you. So I think we have about 114, but as a Reiki practitioner, we kind of focus on the seven main chakras that we work on, and those kind of like relate to like emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being.
Mhm.
So basically you can get blockages within your main chakras, so that may affect you emotionally or physically. So basically the Reiki will just help you by using universal energy to heal yourself, put yourself in the best position to heal yourself. So it's a non-touching treatment, and obviously I can do distant Reiki as well. So because we are energy, we are all connected. So you don't have to be in the same vicinity as me. But again, people come to me for Reiki for that, the energy healing. And I always say you get the 4 R's out of a treatment, which are relaxation,
Mhm.
you get releasing,
Mhm.
you get rebalancing, and rejuvenation. Sometimes you get one of those aspects kind of like more than others,
Mhm.
or sometimes, yeah, you get all 4. It just depends where you are, because if you think about it, you are energy, we are energy, we store things within ourselves, like you were just talking about going to grief, we store on a cellular level.
Mhm.
So we need to have a throughfare of energy throughout us, universal energy, which is so beautiful to work with.
It truly is. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Relaxation. What were your 4 things?
so relaxation, releasing, rebalancing,
Okay.
and rejuvenation.
I just want
And
my
with the energy healing, it works again on like the 3 different aspects. So it can help like with physical problems. So a lot of people come to me that, I've had people come to me with long COVID. It helps with pain management. It's in the NICE guidelines for pain management. It can help with like arthritis, skin conditions, hormone imbalance, fertility problems. I've said insomnia. Yeah, so on a physical level, it can also help on a the physical emotional level, which, if you're feeling really stressed, you're feeling really overwhelmed, you're just not coping as well as you would like to. And then also spiritually, it just helps you to really ground yourself. And we need that, don't we? Like you were saying about the tree,
absolutely.
just to plant ourselves and be able to
Absolutely.
grow,
Yeah.
like grow.
And I think it was interesting because we had that session last week. And since my surgery, my hormones have played up again. So I think I've had this be my third menopause.
Okay. Oh,
Not
gosh.
nice. No. But it was interesting because menopausal symptoms do create insomnia, and I'd been having that since the
Hmm.
surgery, and I haven't got it anymore. So, this is the sort of thing that you can have Reiki for. And even
Hmm.
though we didn't sort of aim for anything specific, with Reiki, it literally just, it sort of washes over the whole body. So whatever's out of order, it brings it to the surface and can heal it or release it. Uh,
Yes.
because that's what, when we're out of balance, we need to find our balance, and we can do so much, but then we need each other and other people, practitioners, to help us, don't we? So,
Yeah.
and I think one thing a lot of healers, and I don't know if you find this, that when you're sick, you feel a bit hypocritical. How can I be a
Yeah.
healer and be sick? And I just want to reassure any healers in the room that are sick, yeah, that's how you know how to heal, because you're
Yeah.
experiencing it. And therefore, you are far better placed then to support others on their healing journeys.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Fiona, it's been magnificent talking to you. And
Thank you.
I hope to
Thank you.
physically meet up with you soon. Is there anything you'd like to say before I turn off the record button?
I'd just like to say with the holistic life coaching, because obviously, like, I'm launching that next week, and just let people know that, if this resonates with you, there's always like a non-obligation phone call for any of the treatments that I offer. And I think that's really important to say, because you might not understand kind of like what Reiki is or like the holistic life coaching. So it's really important just to ring up. I'm a really open book, and it really is that if you want to speak to me, and you might think at the end of the phone call, that's for me, I want to work with her, or you might think that that's not for me, that's okay. I don't take that personally at all, because I think for any of the wellbeing treatments, you need to really connect on an energetic level completely. You need to have that. I always say to people, listen to your intuition and whether you think that we can work together. So I would say that I'm a really open book for people to contact me, and I'm more than happy to have those conversations. And obviously with the holistic life coaching, next week, my first two clients, I am advertising £500 off the first two clients that I get for holistic life coaching,
So how much
which
is
is
how much is the course?
it's 3,000.
Lovely. And that's for 12 weeks, yeah?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Brilliant. Wonderful. So you can get it for 2,500 if
Yeah.
you are one of the first two.
Yes. Yeah.
Superb. Well, that sounds really exciting. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Fiona, for being here, and thank you all for watching. And I hope you've
Thank
learned.
you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susie, for inviting me. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. Because I said to you at the beginning, I've never done anything like this before. So I feel very honoured and privileged that you've asked me to do this. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I'll be
Thank
asking you
you.
to write a book soon. So just to know.
Yes, I know. I was reading on your newsletter, which is really exciting. And your newsletter is amazing.
Thank
Absolutely amazing. Like the information in there. Everybody read the newsletter.
I will put that in the show notes. Okay. Thank you, Fiona. Take care, lovely.
Okay, thank you.
And as we sit, putting things down and letting our hands just rest gently on our lap, taking that moment to just focus in on our breath. Considering all we've learned today and asking ourselves the question, how well do I bounce back from difficulties, from unexpected events, from somebody's harsh words? And then remember that if you feel you need help, then just imagine yourself as that tree, sending roots deeper into the earth to stabilize you. taking more time like this just to be, to connect with like-minded people, to find your power and those inner reserves that we can tap into every day. Just stay here until you are ready to return to your day. Thank you.